Hey, it's Amaya K. Welcome back to Amaya's Take. So today's episode, today I'm giving my take on, drumroll please, fear. Yeah, that's something that I struggle with, of being in a constant overthinking fear that goes hand in hand for me. So if you relate to this, you're not alone. And if not, you could just be nosy and listen to me talk about my overthinking and my fear. So yeah, and hopefully I can give you guys some tips along the way on how to combat this and everything like that. And also, I'm also gonna talk about being a late bloomer, because that is something that I overthink about as well. So stay tuned for that. So let's get into the quote of the day. So the quote of the day is, when you look too far down of the road, you'll miss out on something. So funny story actually behind this quote. I actually wrote this down. So I don't know if this is probably a quote that's already out there, but I'm saying this wording I came up with. So it's Amaya's quote. So the whole story behind it was, I was in my car coming home from work, or yeah, I think I said that right. From work, I was coming home, and so I remember it was this stoplight, and these two sets of lights are normally like one's here and the other one's like a few yards down, and there are two lights, but they're not on the same, like, okay, red, green. It's very much, they don't change colors at the same time. So you have to really be paying attention and really focused on each light as you get to it. So at this intersection, I look way down at the next light. And so my mind is not paying attention to the light in front of me. And so that light, it was green, and the next light was red. I was slowing down at a green light, and then something told me, Amaya, look up at the other light, at the first light. And I was like, oh, it's green, I can go. And so that's what made me think of, like, when you look too far down, you're gonna miss out on something else that could be something like major, to help you. So that's so that goes along with my overthinking. I tend to really be in my head about a lot of things. I tend to really just think really far down the line, when there's no need to think that far down the line at all. Like, you just need to take things day by day. And so that's what that quote means to me, is to stop looking so far in advance and really just look at each day and each moment for what it is, and being present in that exact moment in time. And I've gotten better since my last episode that I talked about it, about being more present and just moving in a way of going more with the flow, and not necessarily having to follow a plan verbatim, because sometimes the plan gets thrown out the window. Then what you gonna do? You just kind of gotta go with it, whatever life throw at you, because life be lifing sometimes, and you can't let life you. That's what I like to say. You can't let life you, okay? Because I'm not gonna let life get me like that. So you just gotta be like, it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, and I'm just along for this ride. Now, it's like frustrating, yes, because when you have in mind what you want, you're like, I want this to happen, but it may not be the best thing for you, and we don't know that at the moment. But then hindsight come in, and we like, oh, you know what? This may have been the best choice for me, and it turns out it was. So let's get on to my take on fear. I will be looking down at my phone because I have notes on them, so bear with me. So what am I afraid of? Y'all about to get in my business today. Y'all always be getting in my business, but it's fine. I put it out there, so it is what it is. So I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. Not really a secret because I'm putting it out there for all y'all listening. But anyways, what I am afraid of is disappointing myself and other people around me. I am also, yes, I'm afraid of disappointing myself and mainly like authority figures. So like my parents or just people that are like over me. For whatever reason, I have a fear of just being a disappointment, which is kind of like sad, like when you think about it, but that's, that is what it is. I am afraid that I've made the wrong choices for myself. This pattern of self-doubt and fear I need to stop. It's an endless cycle of anxiousness and second guessing myself. I don't know why I do this to myself because every choice I've made for myself has landed me here. Where is here? Here is starting a YouTube channel and a podcast. And also having my favorite podcaster, one of my favorite podcasters, JD, on my podcast. Like, so I don't know why I fear making wrong choices when every choice that I've made has literally landed me in the exact spot that I'm in, and I've made the right choices, you know? And there really is no right or wrong. When I think about that, there really is no right or wrong choice. I believe all of these choices that you make, you're going to end up exactly where you need to be. The more I grow up, and the more I'm thinking, I'm like, every place I've been in, every friend that I've made, every person I'm no longer friends with, I've gotten to see like, bruh, like if you didn't do this, you wouldn't be right here right now. And so there really is no wrong choice, although there are certain choices that are not gonna have a favorable outcome. But at the end of the day, we have to trust ourselves and the intuition. And I pride myself on making intentional choices. So I think as long as you make intentional choices and you really think about them sometimes, but sometimes it's good to make, a spur in the moment choice, but I think for the most part, I don't need to be that hard on myself because it's not that deep, which I'm really learning. Things are really just not that deep. Like a lot of these choices, although there will be choices that are very deep and that are really, really big choices to make, but I'm talking about these choices that are not that deep. You just need to go with your gut. Like, and I need to start trusting my gut more and allowing myself to just be like, hey, you've gotten yourself here by the grace of God. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. You have made these choices to get you to this place where you're at now. And to be honest, I prayed to be here to some extent because right now I'm about to be at a school where I never thought I could go, where I didn't think I had the grades to go. And I'm just grateful for where I'm at and also for the person I'm becoming. So you just have to take things one step at a time that I'm learning. You can't look at the whole picture because sometimes you need to look at the things by just small, like little pieces to get the whole thing. And you don't do a puzzle like, let me look at the whole thing. You find the small little pieces that go together, and then you create this big picture. So let me continue reading. Now, why do I do this to myself? Why do I seem to cling to fear? It all boils down to my need to always be in control. I have not yet mastered the art of surrender and trust. What am I surrendering to? The process? To be very honest, I don't know how to do this. I guess it's taking each day one step at a time, and then allowing my intuition and discernment to lead me as opposed to my feelings. It's also doing what feels right for me and not for others. It's taking that leap of faith that doesn't make sense in the moment to me or to others. It's trusting that it will all work out. Not because I can see it, but because it has to. So, wow, that was very deep. But what all that I read and it means to me is just like what I just said, is following your intuition and knowing you know you best. Like nobody else knows you like you know you. Not even your mama, not even your daddy, not even your cousin, not even your uncle, not even your auntie, not even your grandma. Like, but you know you the best. Even though there's this like theme of being like, I don't know myself. That's not true. You do. Everyone has a basis, a core of they know who they are internally and what they will not go for and what they will. Like, and I honestly believe it's the lie that we tell ourselves that we don't know ourselves. That's a lie. We do. And it's really not figuring out who we are. It's getting back to who we know we are and not allowing other outside factors to like sway us from what we already know. Because there are just core things in my soul, in my spirit, in my heart that I know who I am. And I know that is true for everyone out there that is watching and listening. Really take the time to sit with yourself and really be alone. And that also moves me to another point is in this generation, my generation, Gen Z, we tend to really put relationships and things like that on a pedestal. Like we tend to just, all of us crave that love, that love, that passion, that like fire that a relationship gives us. And I think, and look, I am guilty of it too. I'm guilty of having that want. And sometimes I feel like we try to figure out who we are through the lens of someone else when that's not always the case. I'm not saying that you can't learn things from other people about yourself. That's not what I'm saying, because we're all meant to be in community with one another. We're all meant to learn from one another. We are relational creatures. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think this deep and burning desire to be with another person and to be connected to that person, I think is doing ourselves a disservice, because if you want to be so attached to someone, I'm talking to myself, I'm preaching to myself right now. If you really want to be so attached to somebody, what's the reason for that? Like, honestly, like, what is the reason? And I'm asking you, and I'm asking me. If you can answer that, put it down below in the comments. Why? Why do we feel the need to want to be so and utterly connected to someone? Now, I think it's beautiful to have a blossoming like relationship, but like why? Like why do we feel the desperate need to like why? And I can answer it for myself. If you can relate, that's great, that's cool. But for me, it's it's the validation that comes with being in a relationship. Not just external validation, but it comes from the relationship itself. It's like somebody chose me. And I think my issue, maybe y'all can relate, is we haven't been choosing ourselves in our daily lives. And so we and then we don't know how to choose ourselves on a daily basis. Like we don't. And what that looks like for me is doing what's right for me in that moment and not trying to just appease other people. And so I think whenever we get into the practice of choosing ourselves on a daily basis and trusting our choices and knowing that, hey, this choice, I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm not doing it because anybody else wants me to do it. And that's really about any choice you make. For example, I'm on this weight loss journey. I don't even want to call it that. I just want to call it being just a healthier version of me journey. And in the past, I used to want to do it for everybody else around me. I used to want to do it to be accepted by friends, family. Like I used to just want by guys. Like I used to just want to do it to be accepted by other people. But now as I'm growing older, I'm really realizing I want to do it for myself now. Like it's like everything I'm doing right now is for myself. And it's not selfish to do what you want to do. Now, I'm not saying to not think about those repercussions for other people if that choice affects another person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to really think about, this is what I want to do for me internally. And sometimes you may have to hurt people through your journey. And I'm not saying to do that intentionally, but I'm saying sometimes it just happens as collateral damage. There are people that are going to be hurt by your change, and you're just going to have to, I don't want to say apologize for it, but know how to maneuver in that space, which I'm trying to figure that out as well. But some choices, like, it's you have to make for yourself. And that's what I'm learning as I'm adulting, is to really just make those choices for yourself and not for somebody else. And heck, if you enter into a relationship and you don't know how to take care of yourself, you're going to wind up getting lost in somebody. You're going to wind up getting lost in a relationship. And then if that relationship doesn't work out, you won't know who you are because your whole identity is that relationship. And you know what? I don't want that. I don't want my whole identity, my soul identity, to be another person, because that's not what it is. I am my own person. They are their own person. And I think the best like relationships for both people is when both people are as whole as they can be. I said it in my last episode, is when two people truly know how to give themselves the proper kind of love for them, and they know how to love themselves, and then they are now open to loving another person in the way they need to be loved. And so I think when you move in love and when you really truly know how to love yourself, you'll know how to love somebody else, and you'll be more open to do that. Because I might be stepping on some of y'all toes. I think some of us, you get in these relationships and you want to be selfish when you in a relationship. In relationships, are about compromise, sacrifice, whatever word you want to use for it. It's about caring for that other person and not thinking of yourself, so to say, as like a first, but it's thinking of that relationship to a certain extent as a unit and what's best for the relationship. So you're gonna feel frustrated and be like, I'm not getting what I want, when when in reality, if you're not ready for that, if you don't even know how to love yourself, like they say, if you can't even love yourself, how the heck is somebody else supposed to know how to love you? And that's very true. And so this goes into my next topic about being a late bloomer, which can be frustrating for some of us out here. I know there are some people out here that can agree with, or not agree, but just relate to me on the whole late bloomer. I know y'all out here. If y'all out here, I'm looking for y'all. I feel y'all 100%. And my best advice, y'all can go check out a TikTok I did. My TikTok is at official Amaya K. But basically, my tips for that is to just, I know everybody says it, just be patient, but like to really not focus on that. Really focus on what you're doing in your life right now. Focus on you. That's the biggest thing, which I don't know why, but I be wanting to focus on everybody else. But that's not good. Like, you have to focus on you first. Focus on you and getting yourself to the place you need to be, and then also be open to meeting another person. Be open to, hey, this person may not be my type, because I know everybody has a preference, a type, or whatever. But if you really want love and affection in a relationship, and a relationship that is going to be healthy, it may not be with the person that you envision yourself with. Like, your preference may not be your perfect match, if that's even a thing, but your preference may not be who you end up with. And so I think a lot of us, especially in my age bracket, because I can only speak for like my age bracket, a lot of us want the person that looks a certain type of way, has the right body type for us. Like, I'm guilty of it too. Like, every girl, every guy, every whoever has a preference of what someone needs to look like. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm just not attracted to that person. No. I'm saying we have to get out of, they have to look this way, because what you want may not be in that package. And you have to be willing to let go. That's that word again, let go of your idea of who you think is right for you, and really allow that person to come in. Allow that person to come in and be who they are, and accept them for who they are. For them to accept you. You want them to accept you, but then you're not willing to accept them. So, like, really think about that, for all my late bloomers out there. And also, don't be upset that you're a late bloomer. Do not beat yourself up. Don't do any of that. Just think about it as like, hey, you know what? I'm taking my time on choosing who's the right person for you, and that's not, it's not a bad thing to be a late bloomer. I used to think it was, but it's not. And don't let nobody ever tell you that is bad. Move at your own pace. Honestly, move at your own pace and speed. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. Like, if you're not ready, don't do what you're not ready for, because that comes with consequences. When you move at a pace that you're not ready for, you gonna get heartbroken. You gonna break your own heart. It's not gonna be that other person, because what you have to you have to not break your own boundaries. Stay within your own boundaries. Don't be trying to like say, oh, well, that person want me to do that. No, do what you are comfortable with. Okay. And so I think knowing these core things and getting to know yourself and really falling in love with yourself and being confident in who you are is going to attract the right kind of person for you. Because even with like friends, I can tell you this, I didn't find the right friends until I was okay with not having friends, until I was okay with like, you know what, my company is all I need right now, because clearly I've chosen the wrong company, or I've just been around the wrong company, or I'm attracting the wrong company. So I need to be by myself to get myself right, to then be correct within myself, to then be cool and be good with these other people. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, you are what you attract. So if you are attracting unavailable people emotionally, in that way, you're unavailable. For real. Because I'm not gonna lie to myself, I be attracting the most unavailable people mentally. And if you like, I really do. I really feel like that's what I attract right now. And that means I'm emotionally unavailable because I'm working on myself. It's obvious that I'm working on myself. So do not delay your own growth just because you want to have somebody sitting right there, just because you want that love and you want that affection from somebody. Don't do it, because I guarantee you that if you do that, if you get with somebody with the wrong person. Now look, there are some people who find the great person that they can grow with them and they can do this together. That may not be your story. You may be like me and need to grow in isolation. Okay? And then, you can be planted next to that beautiful flower. Okay? You might be like me and need to grow so much by yourself to then be able to grow with someone else. And that's fine. Some people, they grow better with somebody else in a nice flower pot. They might grow best together. It's just everyone's journey looks different. So to all my late bloomers out there, it's okay. Take your time. Be open. Try new things. Go to new places. Take yourself out on a date. If Go out with your friends. If your friends like, yo, let's go to the bar, go to the bar if you're old enough to go to the bar. If they're like, let's go play some laser tag, let's go to the arcade, do that. Like, just start being open to doing new things. Even if you don't like those new things. Now, I'm not saying nothing crazy. Again, go with what is in your boundaries and your comfortability. But I'm saying like something that's like, for example, if you've never been bowling, you're like, what does it hurt for me to go bowling? If it's not going to hurt you, if it's not going to physically, emotionally, spiritually hurt you, I say yes. Okay, if it's not going to break your boundaries like that, go do it. Go have a good time. But that really wraps up my take on all of that. Shout out to all my late bloomers out there. Shout out to all my people that are fearful. I hope that this helps you to live more of a less fearful life. And hopefully from my experience, you can take something from it. This is a quick little story time to wrap this up of when I was fearful to do something and I did it anyway. This is a little story time for y'all to wrap this little thing up. So recently, I decided to tell my crush that I liked him. Okay, if you're listening, hey, how you doing? Yes, I'm talking body. I'm a goofy, but anyways, hey, how you doing? I I decided to tell my crush that I liked him or whatever. Nah, I was making it up to be some big thing in my head. I was like, I gotta tell him. I gotta get this off my chest. Chill out. That's the first thing. Amaya, chill out. So if you like me, chill out. Okay? If you need, chill out. Cause ain't nothing that deep. And I was so scared to tell like him that I liked him. Like I was so fearful. I was like, oh God, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just so afraid to tell him. And to be honest, that's another thing. You gotta be honest with yourself first. So I didn't want to be honest. Like, oh, I don't like him. But then I was like, look, girl, you like him. It's okay. Don't feel shame for having these feelings. That's another thing. Do not shame yourself for liking somebody. That is not your fault. Even if you feel like they out your league or you out their league, like don't be shamed for having a crush on somebody. Cause I be doing that to myself. I be like, oh, he not gonna like me because I look like that. That's your own projection that you putting on somebody. Cause that person may like you. In my case, he didn't. Hey, in my case, they didn't. But it's okay. Because it's okay. I'm here to tell you, it don't matter what the other person think of you. Like, it would be nice if your crush liked you, but like, it's not the end of the world. They got 7 billion people on this world. It might be 8 billion now, but they got 7 billion people in this world. You not gonna fall out if they don't like you. Please don't. Please don't. Any of my people, guy, girl, whoever you are, don't be falling out if somebody don't like you. Don't be throwing no hissy fit that they don't like you. Because it's okay. They got somebody out there that like you. And what I just say, it may not come in the package you want, but it's okay. Some of y'all, let me tell you, some of y'all out here, y'all have the right person for y'all. And this is not to my crush. I'm not talking about me, okay? I'm not talking about me. But some of y'all out there, y'all turning down the people. This is not our PSA, public service announcement. This is to my crush. If you're listening, I'm not talking to you. Okay? This is not about that. Okay? Ooh, I'm goofy. I'm going to put it out there like this because this is who I am. And y'all just going to have to get used to it. But okay? Okay? Some of y'all be turning down the right people for y'all just because they don't look the way you want them to look. I'm guilty of it too. Okay? Right. I'll raise my hand. Okay, it be me too. It be me too. I'll be up in there and be like, they don't look a certain type of way. They ain't my type, so I don't want them. Baby, you could be missing out on your whole person. Your whole person could be in love with you and gonna love you right. And you sitting over there with a stank face on. Give some people some chances. Like I said, if it does not compromise your spirit, your physical, your mental, your emotional, if it don't compromise that, say yes. Cause, okay, anyway, so I forgot where I was, but I told my crush that I liked him. And you know, I think, and look, I'm here. I'm not gonna apologize because that's just stupid. But I'm gonna say, I know it probably, I don't know, it probably did take you aback. I'm not gonna apologize because I'm not apologizing for my feelings because everybody got feelings. But I know it probably did. Maybe it did. Maybe you already knew. I don't know. That's a conversation I love to have. I just like talking to people. Like, I just would want to know, did you know? Did you know that I liked you? Yes, now I'm talking to you. Did you know that I liked you? Because if so, you could have just told me then, Amaya. No. And I'd have been okay. Anyways, this is going on to some crazy tangent, but all in all, I was afraid to tell him. Okay, I said this all to say, I got on this crazy tangent to say, to wrap up aMaYa's take, my take, I said it to say, I chose not to live in fear, and I decided to just rip off that Band-Aid. It's time for me to stop talking because my voice started to crack, but I decided to rip off that Band-Aid, tell that person how I felt. And you know what? And their response wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't. It's never as bad as you think. And so my advice to all of y'all, Amaya's advice, my advice to y'all is to no longer live in fear and be honest and say it up front. Because had I would have said it earlier when I had the chance up front, I would not be running around in circles on a freaking merry-go-round, hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it. I would not be on that. I would just be like, hey, yo, I think you cool. I like you. Let's get to know each other. I'm shooting my shot. Yeah. And I could have known way earlier. Nah, all these months I done been talking to myself in my head. Okay, listen, I'm not crazy. Everybody has internal dialogue, okay? But I wouldn't have been internally talking to myself in a dialogue that is, I'm not crazy. I'm not talking to myself like, boom, boom, boom. I'm not going, what? I'm not doing all that. I'm talking about like having an internal conversation where it's just you talking to you and there's nobody talking back. Anyways, I don't have to explain myself. But like I said, I wouldn't have spent all these months trying to convince myself, don't. Girl, if you got to do all that, tell them. Because I'm going to tell you, it's eating you up and they ain't even thinking about you. I can guarantee you that. They ain't even thinking a wisp about you. And you know what? They might be doing the same thing. Who knows? So you might as well just be honest and just say it. Because what is it going to do? What is it going to hurt you to be honest? It ain't going to hurt you at all. I mean, if you can take the rejection, let's not call it that. Let's call it redirection. Refocusing you to go somewhere else. Thank you, JD, for saying that. Rejection is redirection. But just, because ain't nothing that deep. And it shouldn't hurt you. Like, okay, I'm not going to say what it shouldn't because everybody got their own pain differences. But I'm saying it is what it is. And guess what? This is just teaching. It's a part of life. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's fine. All right, so I've been on this tangent. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching, if you're watching on YouTube. Also, if you're listening, please comment or rate and, like, you know, review. Give me 5 stars because your girl really she be talking. She be talking. She be saying the truth out here. So please like and subscribe if you're watching on my YouTube channel. Please follow me on all my socials. That'll be down below. And thank you guys for following me. Oh, and thank you guys for subscribing on my YouTube channel, because y'all are getting your girl up. My goal is to get to 200 subscribers. So I would greatly appreciate it if y'all could get your girl to 200 right now, because we're like at 110, 111. So I'm clapping up for y'all, because thank y'all. I couldn't be in this position without y'all. And just thank you guys so much. So rate, review, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of them things. Okay? Thank you so much, and I hope this helped, healed, and inspired you. And y'all already know what to do. Stay blessed and stay beautiful, baby.